What's good, family? Shout out to my doggy John Wilson for boosting up your man the YB's job seekers allowance, Jaser. No doubt. So we got some breaking news right now. Your man's John RYDER pushes Daniel B-level Jacobs' wig all the way back to him, 100%. John RYDER put your man Danny Jacobs straight on the plane home with his tail between his legs. And actually salute John RYDER, because guess what? In the press conference before this fight, John RYDER did something and said something that really, really impassioned the YB. He said, listen, tonight, whoever don't win this fight between me and Jacobs, their career is done. And guess what? Not only did he say that, John RYDER went in there tonight and he fought like that was the case. Too often today, we've got these people at the top of the sport making tens of millions of dollars, and they turn up like it's a big sparring session. And then afterwards, they say to the fans, oh, I lost. I performed like a sparring session, but I hope you lot enjoyed it. You big muppet Anthony Johnston. Yeah? It's embarrassing. But I hope you hope the fans enjoyed watching you have a sparring session and get paid $30 million to do nothing. And just to play fanny around, play touch butt in the park with Ido Portal. Is that what it was? Wait a minute, you thought we want to watch big hardback, big muscly dude, 6'6" dude, play touch butt with a middleweight? Is that what you thought we want to watch? You big scary ass. Anyway, like I said, that shows you the contrast there. John RYDER, he ain't making tens of millions of pounds. And that shows you it's not about the money. When you got spirit, and I'm not saying John RYDER performs like this every time, but what we know is, tonight, for the very least, he wanted it. He understood the gravity of the situation he found himself in, and he fought for it. And I respect that. Now, there's a whole bunch of people saying robbery. This weren't no robbery. He turned up, and he deserved to win. And I believe, when people were the A-sides, Danny Jacobs was clearly the A-side going into this fight. And I always tend to give the B-side the benefit of the doubt. Why? Well, if you're an A-side fighter, it should be clear. Do you understand? Yeah? If you're an A-side fighter and you're in a close fight, that's on you. That makes sense, 100%. That's the bottom line. If you're meant to be the big dog USA, oh, I'm from the USA and I've beat Alvarez and I beat Golovkin and all this other stuff. If you're meant to be the big dog hotshot, you best perform like the big dog hotshot. So I don't hear no more about no robbery. Yeah, because guess what? If it was a robbery, your man Danny Jacobs should have boxed John RYDER's ears off for him. And guess what? John RYDER came forward the whole night. Yeah, he came forward. He chased Danny Jacobs down the whole night. He wanted him bad. He wanted this fight, and he earned it. Danny Jacobs, I mean, he didn't not turn up. Danny Jacobs, I wouldn't say he pulled at Anthony Johnston and just went for a sparring session. To be fair to Jacobs, he did put in a decent shift, but it wasn't the same. For example, after watching that fight, who do you think wanted it the most? There's no doubt about the winner of that competition, and it was John RYDER. Out of two men who really could refuse to lose, it was John RYDER, and he deserved that, 100%. Danny Jacobs, I wouldn't say he's going through the motions like Anthony Johnston did against Usyk, but I didn't see it. And like I said, before the fight, the fact John RYDER even spelled it out, Danny Jacobs didn't say, oh yeah, this is it, make or break. And it showed. It showed to me he was not happy to lose, but he weren't desperate for it. Your man John RYDER, he desperate. And I think quite a lot of fighters today could learn a lot from RYDER. Now, technically speaking, I think he was smothering his work quite a lot. I mean, technically, his punch technique is a bit smothery. It reminds me, to some extent, of Sean Porter. Sean Porter was renowned for running forward and just not getting any leverage on his shots. Quite a lot of arm shots John RYDER was throwing. In comparison, for example, we know Canelo Alvarez. He is an aggressive fighter. He comes forward, but he gets the right leverage on his shots. He twists his hips. He don't do the arm punching. Sean Porter and John RYDER, they tend to smother their work. They're not sitting at the right range. They're really literally on top of their opponents, which makes it look ugly. And I think that's something he should be looking to work on. But again, let's leopard change its spots? I don't know. And the bottom line is, guess what? Your man Danny Jacobs didn't do enough to capitalise on that. I did see Danny Jacobs catch him flush with a straight right hand a few times, but it's a fight. And guess what? Your man John Ryder came storming forward time and time again. And it wasn't sloppy. It wasn't Brandon Rios storming forward. It was going in there and putting it on Danny Jacobs. And Jacobs didn't have no answers, bottom line. Because if he did, it would have been a much clearer win. Yeah, because in my opinion, let's call a spade here, John Ryder could have been picked apart tonight, in my opinion. For a slicker boxer, he could have been picked apart. Or for Danny, when you think about prime Danny Jacobs, he could have picked John Ryder apart. John Ryder's defense was actually pretty sloppy. I talk about Alvarez, but at points, he was literally just walking forward with his hands down. But Danny Jacobs didn't. I don't know whether he didn't want to, or either way, he didn't capitalise. That's what we know. And John Ryder was the one punching. He was the one pushing the pressure of the fight. Yeah, there were some rounds here, there, everywhere, but for the main, when you got a bona fide A-side like Danny Jacobs, I expect bona fide A-side, whatever. Now, people are saying, well, but he was out of the ring. I don't care what he was. Oh, he's out of the ring for 18 months. Whose fault was that? Oops. Yeah? You're getting paid, this my man Danny Jacobs, he's getting paid at least 200 grand, 300 grand. You're making money most people take 10 years to make. Oops. Yeah? And you tell me you want to... Whose fault is that? Yeah? Whose fault is it? You chose to rock up once every 2 years. That's on you, I'm afraid to say. If you're rusty, if you're rusty and dusty, you best take that with yourself. Because you came in rusty and dusty, and John Ryder got up in your backside for you. And you have no answers. He came forward, he backed you up to the ropes, and you're meant to be big Mr. A-level as well. That's the problem for me. The problem is, even when Danny Jacob hit John Ryder flush, he still wanted more. Even when Mr. Big USA, Big City, New York cat hit him flush, he want more. Yeah? He want more. He came straight for it. He walked straight forward. He want more. And, again, your man Jacobs ain't have no answers. You would have thought, honestly, I actually think John Ryder's defense was real leaky, looking at it again. His head was wide open the whole night. Not much head movement going on, and most importantly, his guard was just almost non-existent. I'm pretty sure when John Ryder fought Callum Smith and arguably won that fight, he had the high guard and he was wading forward. But tonight, maybe, from what I'm hearing, it was because he didn't have no respect for Jacobs. He came out with a high guard initially when he realised Jacobs ain't got no snap. He thought, F this, I'm dropping my hands, in that style. I'm just going to walk forward. And it's a shame that he don't have more snap on his shots, because if he could, I mean, I'm not saying, there wasn't a stoppage there, but he could be looking to do more damage, that's for sure. That's one thing that was missing tonight. There wasn't, to be fair, from both men, there weren't no real eye-catching, snappy, KO fixing shots. Either way, I'm super happy for John Ryder. He earned this, and he deserves this. Yeah, Danny Jacobs, he looked a bit in... This, for me, was a bit of an entitled performance. I think he thought, I'll turn up. I mean, even Eddie Hearn, after the fight... You can tell Eddie Hearn down bad right now. Yeah, Eddie Hearn from Down Bad Room. Yeah, Eddie Hearn and his company, Down Bad Room Promotions. Yeah, 100%. Eddie Hearn and his promotional company, Down Bad Room Promotions, are going through it right now. They were supposed to be building up the, Danny Jacobs going to be doing this. Danny Jacobs is our big USA star. Oops. Yeah, I'm pretty sure from what I'm hearing, they were meant to be putting on Jacobs versus Andrade. That was supposed to be the next big thing. Well, that's now gone out the window, and rightfully so. Because too many of these guys, they're entitled. Danny Jacobs thought, I'll just rock up and Eddie Hearn's got my back and I'm the big A-side. I'm the big city, New York, USA. Oops. Yeah, John Ryder popped you in your mouth for that kind of behaviour. That's what happens. It's way too much entitlement in this sport right now. That's the bottom line. At the top end of the sport, there's way too much entitlement. People just think you just turn up, have a sparring session, and get paid a whole truck full of cash. Because I'm pretty sure, no word of a lie, I guarantee you, Danny Jacobs probably made at least 500 grand tonight. Is that? Let's be real now. Let's call a spade. Do you think? Who knows? Maybe even more. Seriously. I wouldn't be surprised to hear Danny Jacobs got paid $1 million. Well, let's call it 500 grand for argument's sake. Did you see 500 grand worth of performance there? I didn't. I would have not. Take me now right for free. Give me 500 grand. I'd have give I'd give Danny Jacobs the work, 100%. So there's way too much. Just rock up and just go through the motions. I think what happens is, you see, there's a saying of leading by example, and unfortunately, at the very top of the sport, you've got people like Alexander Usyk and Anthony Johnston, and they're the ones setting the pace. They're the ones making it acceptable. Well, look at Big AJ. Look at the big bodybuilder. He getting paid 30 mil, and he just turns up and has a sparring session. Why don't we all just turn up and go through the motions and get paid a whole truckload of money? It doesn't set a good example for the sport, and that's why I'm glad Fury and Wilder came along and just reminded people that not everyone's soft. Yeah, not everyone's scared of their own shadow. Some people are prepared to get stuck in and earned. All we want as observers and as paying customers is a fair exchange. Yeah, if you're getting paid 30 mil, you best put 30 mil worth of effort in.